Chapter 23, The Madripoor Gambit. Victor Wren gazed out of the aerocar window as it descended into Madripoor. The bustling port city, known for its juxtaposition of futuristic skyscrapers and shadowy alleys, was the ideal location for Innovonix's next venture. This wasn't just another expansion, it was an audacious gamble to purchase a robotics factory at 666 FETs Drive, a property with intriguing potential but significant risks. Victor's mind raced as he reviewed the property's metrics: square footage, 60,376 SF, net operating income, NOI, $1,358,000, cap rate, 10%, debt service coverage ratio, DSCR, 1.85, just above minimum, occupancy rate, 89%, tenant credit quality, B+, lease expiration schedule, 7 years remaining, market rent versus in-place rent, $49.62/SF much is market rate, operating expense ratio, OR, 35%, excellent, property condition, poor, a major concern, market vacancy rate, 11%, replacement cost, $10,500,000, loan-to-value ratio, LTV, 65%, internal rate of return, IRR, 10%, net present value, NPV, $450,000, cash-on-cash return, 9.4%, valuation, asking price, $15,500,000, power broker's score, A.A.A.A. The deal with FETs Robotics. Upon landing, Victor and his team met the property broker, a slick operator named Jackson Crane. "The factory is a diamond in the rough," Crane declared, "with cutting-edge equipment and high lease potential. Sure, the building needs work, but the bones are solid." The power broker's score of 5 stars reassured Victor about the factory's market reputation. Still, the poor condition assessment gnawed at him. Could Innovonix shoulder the renovation costs while maintaining Project Nexus's momentum? The first walkthrough revealed why the factory was underperforming. Cracks in the structure, outdated automation systems, and a tenant quality of B+ suggested that current lessees struggled to fully utilize the factory's potential. Yet Victor saw an opportunity to turn this facility into the beating heart of Project Nexus. Due diligence and a plot twist. The Innovonix finance team crunched the numbers. The factory's IGA of $2,090,000 and manageable OR of 35% aligned with profitability goals. However, the market vacancy rate of 11% reflected stiff competition in Madripoor's industrial sector. Victor, Arya Sailor warned during a late-night call, the DSCR is tight at 1.85, and the property's IRR of 10% is decent but not stellar. Plus, with a replacement cost of $10.5 million, any major structural issues could spiral out of control. Undeterred, Victor negotiated a clause tying the purchase price to achieving certain performance milestones post-renovation. Innovonix secured a loan-to-value ratio, LTV, of 65%, allowing flexibility for the upgrades. The factory reawakens. Renovations began immediately. Kai Tanaka, Innovonix's chief engineer, spearheaded the overhaul of the factory's robotics systems. New analog-to-digital converters and precision R2R DACs were installed, boosting production line efficiency by 30%. With Project Nexus Academy trainees assisting, the upgrade process doubled as a training opportunity. Within 6 months, Innovonix transformed the facility from poor to excellent condition. A saboteur among them. Just as the factory neared its reopening, disaster struck. An arson attack targeted the main warehouse, setting back the launch by months. Evidence pointed to a rival corporation, Cyberdyne Consortium, desperate to stifle Innovonix's rise. The attack left Victor's team scrambling. Insurance barely covered 60% of the damages. With cash flow strained, Victor turned to a bold strategy, leveraging the factory's 5-star power broker score to attract new lessees at a premium. Turning the tide with KPIs. Victor convened his leadership team to realign goals based on measurable KPIs. 1. Occupancy rate. Within 2 months, the factory hit 95% occupancy, securing better tenants with A-grade credit quality. 2. Effective gross income. IGA. Strategic marketing boosted IGA to $2.5 million annually. 3. Net operating income, NOI. Repairs and upgrades drove NOI to $1.80 million or a 33% increase. 4. IRR. Innovonix exceeded projections, achieving an IRR of 12.5%. 5. Cash-on-cash return, improved to 11.2% due to renegotiated leases and operational savings. The Madripoor miracle. Despite the sabotage, Innovonix emerged stronger. The factory became a hub for open-source robotics manufacturing, hosting regular hackathons and research partnerships. Madripoor, once synonymous with corruption, became a beacon for innovation, thanks to Innovonix's unwavering resolve. Victor Wren's gamble paid off. The factory's success not only revitalized Project Nexus but also proved that innovation could thrive even in the face of adversity. As Victor gazed out over the bustling factory floor, he smiled. Innovonix had done more than acquire a property, they had transformed an entire city. But in Madripoor, he knew, the next challenge was always just around the corner. The Silicon Shadows of Madripoor Chapter 1, Arrival in Madripoor. In the shadowy, neon-soaked streets of Madripoor, a chaotic, sprawling hub of intrigue and opportunity, arrived Innovonix, a pioneering organization shrouded in mystery. Founded on principles of accessibility and collaboration, Innovonix was no ordinary enterprise. It was a movement, a digital sanctuary for engineers, visionaries, and creators eager to transform the semiconductor industry. At its helm stood Victor N., a charismatic leader with a vision to democratize technology. Victor was joined by Arya Saleh, the organization's technical mastermind, whose brilliance had built Innovonix into a global phenomenon. Their arrival in Madripoor was no coincidence. Beneath the city's glitzy skyline lay a world of unregulated technology and untapped innovation, a perfect setting for Innovonix's next chapter. Chapter 2, the mission. Innovonix's mission was bold, to create a cutting-edge semiconductor lab in Madripoor that would serve as a beacon for innovation. Unlike traditional chip fabrication houses, Innovonix promised to empower the disenfranchised to independent creators, small firms, and students by offering tools to design and manufacture custom chips at a fraction of the cost. Their goal, to bridge the digital divide in Madripoor by developing an ecosystem where technology wasn't hoarded by conglomerates but shared freely among all. Chapter 3, Shadows and Allies. Victor and Arya quickly discovered that Madripoor was a city of shadows, where every handshake came with an agenda. Innovonix's arrival threatened the powerful Electrics Syndicate, a cartel controlling the city's semiconductor market. The syndicate thrived on exclusivity and scarcity, hoarding resources and exploiting local talent for profit. To establish a foothold, Victor sought allies among the city's misfit inventors and rogue technologists. One such ally was Kai Lin, a brilliant but reclusive hacker with an intimate knowledge of Madripoor's underground networks. Kai introduced Innovonix to a thriving community of makers and inventors eager for change but wary of the syndicate's wrath. Chapter 4, Building the Dream. The Innovonix team set up shop in an abandoned warehouse in Madripoor's Lowtown district. With Kai's help, they converted it into a high-tech lab powered by Innovonix's proprietary tools. The lab offered open access to chip design platforms enabling hobbyists to create their own semiconductors. Collaborative tools where creators could share and refine designs. Fabrication services to turn designs into physical chips at minimal cost. The lab's first project was a challenge to the syndicate, a revolutionary R2R digital-to-analog converter that could disrupt Madripoor's energy grid monopoly by powering independent microgrids. This chip would not only be cheaper but also more efficient than the syndicate's bloated designs. Chapter 5, The Syndicate Strikes. The Electrics Syndicate was quick to respond. Its enforcers, led by the ruthless Darius Von, launched a smear campaign to discredit Innovonix. They spread rumors that Innovonix's technology was unstable and dangerous. When that failed, they resorted to sabotage, sending spies to infiltrate the lab. Victor, however, was always one step ahead. Using Kai's expertise in cybersecurity, Innovonix implemented a robust defense system. Every attempted breach only strengthened their resolve to democratize technology and free Madripoor from the syndicate's grip. Chapter 6, The Makers Uprising. Word of Innovonix's lab spread like wildfire through Madripoor. Inventors, engineers, and students began flocking to the lab, forming a community bound by a shared vision. Among them was Elena Reyes, a young inventor who used Innovonix's tools to design a life-saving medical chip for prosthetics. Her success story became a rallying cry for Madripoor's disenfranchised technologists. As the Innovonix lab flourished, so did resistance against the syndicate. The community dubbed themselves the Madripoor Makers Guild, a coalition determined to take back the city's technological future. Chapter 7, The Final Confrontation. With the R2R chip nearing completion, Innovonix prepared for its biggest test, releasing the design to the public. The syndicate, desperate to maintain its monopoly, launched an all-out assault on the lab. Darius Von personally led the charge, deploying drones and the mercenaries to destroy Innovonix's infrastructure. In a climactic showdown, Victor, Arya, and Kai led the Makers Guild in a daring defense of the lab. Using Innovonix's chips, they hacked the syndicate's drones, turning the machines against their masters. The battle was fierce, but the syndicate was no match for the collective ingenuity of Madripoor's creators. Chapter 8, A New Dawn. With the syndicate defeated, Innovonix released the R2R chip design as open source, allowing anyone in Madripoor to access it for free. The move marked the beginning of a new era. The city's inventors, once suppressed, were now empowered to innovate without fear. The Innovonix Lab became Madripoor's hub of creativity, attracting talent from across the globe. Victor, Arya, and their team continued to push the boundaries of what was possible, proving that technology could be a force for good when shared rather than controlled. Epilogue, Legacy of Innovation. Years later, Madripoor stood as a testament to Innovonix's vision. It was no longer a city of shadows but a beacon of hope, where technology was accessible to all. The Makers Guild evolved into a global movement, inspired by the belief that innovation thrives in collaboration. And at the heart of it all was Innovonix, a name that symbolized the power of ingenuity, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of progress. Page 2. The Silicon Shadows of Madripoor. Chapter 8, A New Dawn. As the dust settled over the streets of Madripoor, the remnants of the syndicate's hold on the city's technology sector crumbled. The Makers Guild celebrated their victory, but Victor Wren, Arya Saleh, and Kai Lin knew that their journey was far from over. The syndicate's defeat was just the beginning of a larger battle for the future of innovation in Madripoor. In the aftermath, Innovonix's R2 chip became a beacon of hope, symbolizing the triumph of collaboration and ingenuity over greed and control. The chip's release was met with global acclaim, and its open-source design ignited a wave of innovation across industries. Microgrids powered by the chip began appearing in Madripoor's poorest districts, providing affordable and reliable energy for the first time. However, Victor understood that the syndicate's power could resurface if left unchecked. To ensure lasting change, Innovonix proposed a bold initiative, the Open Madripoor Project, a citywide collaboration to build a sustainable, tech-driven economy. Chapter 9, Allies and Enemies. The Open Madripoor Project quickly gained traction, attracting support from unexpected quarters. The city's leading academics, independent inventors, and even some former syndicate operatives joined forces to create a vision for Madripoor where technology was accessible to all. Among the new allies was Amara Chen, a former syndicate engineer disillusioned with their exploitative practices. She brought insider knowledge that proved invaluable in dismantling the syndicate's remaining influence. Together with Arya, Amara helped design a citywide network of modular innovation hubs, modeled after Innovonix's lab, where anyone could access state-of-the-art tools and resources. But not everyone embraced this vision. Powerful corporations that had thrived under the syndicate's monopolistic practices began plotting their return to power. The remnants of the Electrix syndicate regrouped under a new leader, a shadowy figure known only as the Architect, who vowed to restore control through fear and sabotage. Chapter 10, The Architect's Gambit. The Architect's first move was a calculated strike against the Open Madripoor project. Using advanced AI and quantum cryptography, they launched a cyber attack aimed at crippling the network of innovation hubs. Entire districts were plunged into chaos as power grids failed, data was corrupted, and misinformation spread like wildfire. Victor and Kai quickly mobilized a response team. Innovonix's lab became the nerve center of a counter-offensive, where the brightest minds worked around the clock to restore functionality. Kai's expertise in AI proved critical as he developed a self-healing algorithm to combat the Architect's malicious code. Meanwhile, Arya and Amara delved into the syndicate's encrypted communications, uncovering plans for a more sinister operation, the deployment of a rogue satellite designed to disrupt Madripoor's technological infrastructure permanently. Chapter 11, A Race Against Time. With the satellite's launch imminent, Victor knew they needed to act fast. Innovonix and the Makers Guild coordinated a daring mission to infiltrate the syndicate's stronghold, a high-tech fortress hidden in Madripoor's mountains. The operation was fraught with danger. Armed with prototype tools and Innovonix-designed drones, the team faced a gauntlet of automated defenses and syndicate mercenaries. Elena Reyes, now a key member of the guild, used her medical chip expertise to disable security systems, proving that innovation could be a weapon for good. As they reached the satellite control room, Victor confronted the Architect. Their battle wasn't just physical but ideological, a clash of visions for Madripoor's future. In the end, Victor's determination and the unity of the Makers Guild triumphed. The satellite was deactivated, and the Architect's empire crumbled. Chapter 12, The Legacy of Innovonix. The victory solidified Innovonix's place as a transformative force in Madripoor. The Open Madripoor project thrived, turning the city into a global model for innovation and inclusion. Victor, Arya, and Kai reflected on how far they had come here, from a daring startup to catalysts of a technological revolution. Their journey was a testament to the power of collaboration, resilience, and the belief that technology should serve humanity, not control it. In the years that followed, Innovonix expanded its mission, launching similar initiatives in cities around the world. Madripoor, once a city of shadows, became a beacon of hope, proving that even in the darkest corners, innovation could spark a brighter future. The Silicon Shadows of Madripoor wasn't just a story of technology but a saga of courage, community, and the unyielding pursuit of a better tomorrow. Page 3. The Silicon Shadows of Madripoor. Chapter 13, The Cyclone Initiative. As Innovonix's impact spread globally, Victor Wren received an intriguing proposal from Neo-Tokyo, a futuristic metropolis at the cutting edge of robotics. Neo-Tokyo's government sought Innovonix's expertise to spearhead a new venture, the Cyclone Initiative, aimed at revolutionizing humanoid robotics. Unlike Madripoor, Neo-Tokyo was a city of advanced infrastructure and regulated innovation. Yet, it struggled with a growing issue. Its robotics sector was monopolized by a handful of corporations that stifled competition and prioritized profits over societal benefit. Victor saw this as an opportunity to apply Innovonix's principles in the new domain of bringing collaboration and accessibility to robotics. Ariasela was thrilled by the challenge, envisioning a humanoid robotics ecosystem that could serve industries, healthcare, and disaster response. The initiative would culminate in the development of Cyclone Mecha, a modular humanoid robot designed for adaptability, efficiency, and accessibility. Chapter 14, Building the Future. Victor and Aria relocated to Neo-Tokyo to establish Innovonix Robotics, a subsidiary dedicated to humanoid technology. They were joined by a new partner, Dr. Hiroshi Takeda, a robotics pioneer disillusioned with corporate greed. Together, they outlined a bold roadmap for the Cyclone Initiative, collaborative development, an open platform allowing developers worldwide to contribute to Cyclone Mecha's design. Scalability, modular components enabling users to customize the robot for different purposes, from industrial automation to elder care. Affordability, cutting-edge manufacturing techniques to reduce costs, ensuring accessibility for startups and small businesses. The first milestone was to develop a prototype capable of performing high-precision tasks in disaster zones. Neo-Tokyo's government pledged its support, providing funding and access to advanced facilities. Chapter 15, Resistance in Neo-Tokyo. The initiative faced immediate resistance from Neo-Tokyo's dominant robotics corporations, collectively known as the Cyberdyne Consortium. Led by the enigmatic CEO Satoshi Kurogan, the consortium launched a campaign to discredit Innovonix Robotics, branding them as outsiders who threatened the local industry. Kurogan was no stranger to competition, but he underestimated Innovonix's resilience. Victor and Hiroshi countered the smear campaign by showcasing Cyclone Mecha's potential. They hosted demonstrations where the prototype performed tasks like navigating hazardous environments, delivering medical supplies, and assisting in rescue operations. Public interest soared, but the consortium wasn't ready to concede. Kurogan devised a plan to sabotage the initiative by manipulating Neo-Tokyo's regulatory framework to delay Innovonix's operations. Chapter 16, The Cyber War. The battle shifted to the digital realm. The consortium unleashed sophisticated cyber attacks aimed at crippling Innovonix robotics systems and stealing Cyclone Mecha's designs. Kai Lin, Innovonix's cybersecurity guru, came out of semi-retirement to lead the counter-effort. He assembled a global team of ethical hackers and technologists who fortified Innovonix's networks with advanced encryption and real-time threat detection. In a daring move, Kai hacked into the consortium's servers, uncovering evidence of corruption and unethical practices. This information was leaked to the public, sparking outrage and forcing Neo-Tokyo's government to intervene. Chapter 17, The Cyclone. Unleashed with public support at an all-time high, Innovonix Robotics unveiled the first production model of Cyclone Mecha at a Grand Expo in Neo-Tokyo. The robot's modularity and versatility captured the imagination of industries worldwide. One standout feature was the Cyclone Core, a neural processing unit that allowed the robot to learn and adapt in real time. This innovation set Cyclone Mecha apart from competitors, cementing its place as a game-changer in robotics. Orders poured in from healthcare providers, logistics companies, and disaster response agencies. Innovonix Robotics expanded rapidly, establishing a network of innovation hubs across Neo-Tokyo and beyond. Chapter 18, The New Age of Robotics. The success of Cyclone Mecha marked a turning point in the robotics industry. Innovonix's open platform approach inspired a wave of collaborative projects, breaking the monopoly of corporations like the Cyberdyne Consortium. Victor and his team became icons of a new era where technology was developed for the greater good. In Madripoor, Neo-Tokyo, and cities worldwide, Innovonix's principles became a blueprint for sustainable innovation. As Victor looked back on the journey, he realized that their story wasn't just about technology, it was about empowering people to shape their own futures. Innovonix had proven that with vision, courage, and collaboration, even the most entrenched systems could be transformed. And so, the Cyclone Initiative became another chapter in the legacy of Innovonix, a legacy built not on power or profit, but on the unwavering belief in the boundless potential of humanity. Page 4. Chapter 19, The Fusion of Innovation and Accessibility. As Innovonix continued its rise, Victor and his team faced a new challenge, scaling their success to create a sustainable ecosystem for robotics innovation. With the Cyclone Initiative as a flagship achievement, they sought to bring the lessons of Neo-Tokyo to other cities, focusing on a core principle, accessibility and innovation. The team's next project, Project Nexus, aimed to democratize the design and manufacturing of robotic and exoskeleton systems, targeting underserved regions where access to such technologies was minimal. This initiative was rooted in a belief that groundbreaking technology should not be confined to developed markets, so it needed to empower communities globally. Key components of Project Nexus: designing and building chips for all. Innovonix partnered with Google's Skywater 130 PDK, an open-access foundry, to develop affordable chips for robotic applications. This partnership allowed small-scale developers to access cutting-edge technology without prohibitive costs. Cost-effective manufacturing through tiny tapeout. The team utilized tiny tapeout, a method for creating multi-project wafers at reduced costs. This enabled Innovonix to lower the barrier for startups and researchers to prototype and produce robotics hardware efficiently. Open source collaboration. Innovonix continued to champion open source development, encouraging contributions from global innovators. Platforms like GitHub became hubs for sharing design schematics, software algorithms, and simulation tools. Education and training. To complement the technology, Innovonix launched Nexus Academies, training centers focused on teaching individuals how to use and customize their robotics systems. These academies blended online modules with hands-on workshops, ensuring that knowledge spread as widely as the technology itself. Chapter 20, Innovonix's global footprint. The success of Project Nexus further expanded Innovonix's influence, with Nexus Academies opening in cities such as Nairobi, Bogota and Bangalore. Each location tailored its focus to regional needs. Nairobi, agricultural automation for small-scale farmers. Bogota disaster response robotics for mountainous terrains. Bangalore, healthcare exoskeletons for elder care and rehabilitation. These initiatives proved that scalable, impactful technology could emerge from partnerships with local communities. Innovonix's strategy combined high-tech innovation with grassroots empowerment, creating a ripple effect of progress that extended far beyond its original vision. Chapter 21, Facing New Frontiers. Victor, Arya, and Kai realized that the next frontier was not just technological but ethical. As robotics systems became more integrated into daily life, concerns over privacy, security, and equity arose. Innovonix convened a global ethics summit, inviting policymakers, technologists, and community leaders to shape guidelines for responsible robotics use. Key outcomes from the summit included transparency standards, open access to software and hardware documentation to ensure accountability, data privacy protections, built-in safeguards to prevent misuse of personal data collected by robots, universal accessibility mandates, ensuring products were designed with inclusivity in mind, accommodating users of all abilities and backgrounds. Chapter 22, A Legacy of Empowerment. With Project Nexus and a Global Ethics Summit solidifying Innovonix's role as a thought leader, Victor decided it was time to step back from day-to-day operations. He passed the torch to Arya Saleh, whose visionary leadership had been instrumental in shaping Innovonix's journey. Victor dedicated his time to mentoring young innovators, emphasizing the importance of balancing ambition with responsibility. He often reflected on Madripoor and how a small team with a bold vision had reshaped the narrative of a city and eventually, the world. Arya led Innovonix into a new era, focusing on integrating robotics with renewable energy solutions and exploring interplanetary applications. From creating opportunities in shadowed corners to inspiring global collaboration, Innovonix proved that the future of technology could indeed be one of empowerment, accessibility, and shared progress. And so, the legacy of Innovonix continued to shine as a beacon of what humanity could achieve when innovation served as a bridge, not a barrier.